Hi there, alright. Just wanted to do another quick video. Well, it might not be that quick, it depends. Depends on how fast it loads. But I really want to show you something else that's a bit quirky that I've got. That just makes life a little bit easier on my, you know, when I'm playing games on my old systems. One of the things that I want to show you on this video is this. Commodore 64. That is an SD2IEC interface. So SD2IEC interface. It basically does the job of a disk drive minus the disk drive's chip. I don't know. I'm sure most people know that the C64's 1541 disk drive has a chip in it that affects disk speed and it handles things intelligently with regards to the disk. That doesn't emulate that in any way, so some games don't work for it for obvious reasons. But I wanted to just show you. There it is on the screen. Look. I wanted to show you a game working on it basically. So what you have to do is you have to type in command. Normally, when you're loading in a tape or something like that, you have to type in, you know, load whatever, and then usually like press enter and then press play on tape, all that kind of thing. If you was privileged enough to have a disk drive and you loaded it, you had to use the command load game, whatever, and then (8), (1), right? So anyway, this emulates the disk drive, but it emulates it on drive 10. I'll show you. So what I'm doing at the moment is, you probably can't see that, but I'm just typing in something that's on. So basically, all the programs and disk images are on the actual SD card that you can see there. What I've typed in there is a command that basically loads in. There's a program on there called File Browser, or FB64, and I'm loading that in off the disk, sort of emulated. So watch what happens. Green light comes on to say that it's loading. The FB64 is now loaded into memory. RUN for run, and away we go. Okay, so what I've done here is I'm not very good at file organisation, as you're going to work out in other videos. But basically, I don't know if you can see that very well, but basically there's a list there of folders and programs and things like that. What I've taken liberty of doing is putting in where it says D64 REM, D64 REM. Those are games that have been designed to work under emulation, so I've had a much better success rate with those working. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either use the cursor keys, or you can use my snazzy joystick called the ballistic. Basically, I use a joystick because it's easier, but so like basically you press fire to go into the folders. I've organised things by letter because it makes it faster loading. You don't have to load up hundreds of things. So I'm actually going to show you a game that everyone's played. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to go one better. I'm going to pick a game randomly. Now, sometimes the success rate for these is not brilliant, but I'm going to pick a game random and see how we fare. Okay, let us have a look at that one. So D to F. Sorry, not the camera. Okay, so in here, basically, I don't know if you know much about C64 programming and stuff like that, but basically C64 is a similar kind of thing to DOS in that it only displays so many characters. Obviously, I've gone past the character limit and obviously that's now done that. It's now broken them all down into different things. You'll get I mean, if you look at some of the names, you'll get the general idea. They are, you know, the games and stuff like that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a game. I'm going to pick a game, just random, and see how I fare. I'm going to pick that one because it looks like it might be Donkey Kong, and it is. What I've actually gone into there is the actual disk image. So if you was to use the directory command, like the list command or whatever it is, in you know, when you're loading the disk in, it'll show you this list. As you can see, there's two programs there. What I want to do is I want to load the first program off the list. if you watch, I'll load it in. Right, so that's now loading. Now, it's going to take a while, so basically what it's doing is it's emulating the disk to some extent. As you can see, it's loading off the SD card. So what it basically means is that I can play disk games, disk images straight off the SD card. Now, I'll be honest, the success rate of it isn't always brilliant, and you always get that dreaded kind of thing that you get with tapes, where every so often it'll just balk for whatever reason and just not work. I suppose that's part of the charm, right? At the end of the day, it does what I want it to, and it plays the games that I really want to play. There are a couple of games that I would love to play, but for whatever reason, it doesn't, it doesn't play them very well. I don't know if you can see that, but now that's loading in. So that usually you get that kind of wavy thing, which I'm sure you've seen on Spectrums and other things. That's basically loading into memory now. So when that's loaded into the memory, here we go. Okay, so this is basically the intro, basically the disc. Well, for want of a better expression, the cracked disc. But this particular company or release group or whatever, these games have already been released a million times. But what they've actually done is they've actually made them like emulator-proof. They put extras on them, high-score savers, various other bits and pieces to make them work on, like, for example, under emulation and stuff. So it makes them a bit more useful. The benefit of that is that I can use them on here, and the success rate that I've had with them has been a lot better. So if you ever get into C64 gaming, have a look for C64 Rem or Remember. They do some amazing work. I press spacebar, and basically the game then loads in. What makes the REM releases quite amazing is the fact that they actually put the instructions, usually the manual in its entirety, in doc form, which can be read by obviously by pressing space, as it says there. When you press space, it tells you all about the game. So the game I've chosen, if I zip through, is Donkey Kong. This is the C64 conversion of it. I love Donkey Kong. I actually prefer the original, which is a lot easier to get and stuff like that, but obviously I've got the version here. You press run stop, the game then is loaded into memory. This is looking successful. This one adds all kinds of extras and things like that, like high scores and trainers. What I'm going to do is rather than spoil it for you, because obviously I want you guys to have a look. I'll just go. Basically, I'm loading in the high score game, and I'm loading in the things. Right. There you go. So that's the C64 version of Donkey Kong. Let's see if it works. It's actually, I've not played it extensively, but this is actually quite an accurate conversion. And Donkey Kong actually looks like Donkey Kong. There goes Mario, Jumpman as he was known back in the day. So I'm sure everyone knows Donkey Kong, got to jump over the barrels. I'm doing it one-handed, so no point even trying. But that's running off the C64. Impressive, yeah, a bit. So there you go. So I'll turn it off. I've done that, so there you go. It's kind of impressive, kind of cool. Basically, I can now just load disk images. What I've noticed is that there's a modern influx of gaming on the C64 at the moment. There's websites that actually cater for that have modern games running on the C64. There's a game called Cannon Blast, I think it's called, or pronounced that way, where you're a guy running, and that is pretty awesome actually. So I would, in fact, I've got time. I'm going to show you it. Let's load it up. Okay, wait there. Okay, so same principle again. There's your device. I'm gonna type it up. FB64. Whoops. 10,1. Right, that loads into memory. So what I'm loading at the moment is the file browser. RUN for run. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay, so what I've got here is a folder called Crapola, I think it is. Or is it in Crapola? No, it's not. I think it's in Stuff. There it is, Stuff. Right, it looks weird, but the one that's got a really bizarre kind of character in Knablat. Let's load that. So let's load the first program off of that. Let's see what occurs. Okay, so this is a modern game made for the C64. I think it's on tons of other formats, but it's been made. Obviously, there's a conversion on the C64. So this game's loading in now. I just really want to give you a quick glimpse of it because this is actually the ultimate one-handed game. No Sam Fox strip poker jokes, please. Let's have a look. Let's see what it's doing. Right, it's loading still at the moment. I'm hoping. There it is. Right, so this is the game, and as you can see, 2011. Okay, so it's asking me to go into port 2. So let's stick the joystick in port 2. Okay, so the joystick's in port 2. I don't know why some games port 1, some games port 2. That's irritating, but okay. So let's turn up the noise. The music is bloody awesome. It's not working. Hang on a sec. Wait there. Right, we're away. Right, so basically you're a guy who's running away and you have to avoid obstacles. Oops, I'm dead. Right, so you have to avoid the obstacles and basically get out and start running. What makes the game really cool is as you do better, you go faster. And the scroll routine is unbelievable. I'm dead. Now what makes this game awesome is you only need the fire button. But the game is so compelling because you find yourself getting to ridiculous speed and you find yourself going to all these different things, like all these different sort of scenery things. I'm dead. I'm going to try again. Look, this is the music is so awesome. The music is awesome. Check out the bed. Right, here we go. Right, we're starting to pick up speed. Here we go now. Oh no. Go on that. Bumped into an obstacle. Oh, I bumped into another one. I'm doing well. Oh no, I hit the sound. That's a world record show. Anyway, this game is pretty cool, and it takes one button to do, and you find yourself playing over and over and over again. They've finally managed to convert Prince of Persia to the Commodore 64. It used tons of memory, so I'm thinking that I'll probably need some kind of device for the C64 to make it work on real hardware. However, I think they've done a low memory version, I'm not entirely sure, but there may be a video on Prince of Persia coming from myself. But yeah, there you go. So there's the C64 running basically some really cool games. That, my friends, is that. So yeah, hopefully that will give you some inspiration to maybe play C64. Okay, thanks a lot for watching.